Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay, at 7, we'll call the meeting to order. Stand and say the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is that your security stuff? So that's not for the county commission meeting. Anything to add to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Minutes. Get a chance to read them.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, Mayor.
All right, motion been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes as written. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Visitors and delegations. I don't see Jason, so.
No, he's on the road.
Guessing that you're on the deck.
Jason's actually on video.
Oh,
You
okay.
guys can't really see him very clear, but he is there.
Well, he's got coffee.
Yeah, he's got coffee and everything. Jason, can you hear us?
We don't hear him.
It looks like you're on mute. Do you know how to unmute yourself? There, we kind of hear you.
You got me?
Yes, it's going to be kind of hard to hear. So if you want to speak up as much as you can, that would be great.
Wonder if his volume needs to be turned down.
We've got our volume up pretty high here.
All right, you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, guys. So hello to everyone. Want to let you know what we've done is I've started a foundation in my son's name. That's purpose is going to be one of several things, community and grants. We want to do grants for trade school applicants, graduates from our area that want to go to trade school, not four-year colleges, because we need tradesmen more than I think we need anything. But this is basically the basis of what my son's foundation is going to be for. The Secretary of State's already approved it. Just waiting on the IRS to finish. And then we're up and running. Now we're wanting to throw a festival of the size I know the city has never seen. Basically to establish a foundation financially solid, which has no employees, okay, that are going to be on salary. This thing that I'm doing is to help the community when it needs help. Tragedy strikes a family, maybe we can help. Help a kid get into school and trade, maybe we can help. Fire department needs something, maybe we can help that. That's the purpose of this foundation. I'm not looking to help anybody in Africa or anywhere else, just locally, okay? And we want to throw this festival to achieve that goal. I know there's going to be a lot of apprehension, the type of festival, but I think it's doable, peaceful, and it's going to accomplish a lot. I know it'll accomplish the financial goals that we're after. And, you know, you have any questions, I can explain it to you. I'm sure the word's been going around. But we've got a lot of people lined up to help us pull this off. And I'm sure we can do it. Also, too, Ryan Gibbons, very close friend of mine, one of my best friends, love him to death. He's helped me with half of this, so I'm handling the business end of it. And I've got many other volunteers that are going to help with this. But we need to be able to use a large area like the fairgrounds, possibly the golf course. And there's lots of things to hash out. So I'll just leave it to questions and go from there.
This summer? Is that the plan?
July 16th, Saturday, July 16th.
Jason, for those that haven't been involved in the conversation, can you share to what degree this is, how many people you are thinking could potentially attend?
Yeah, well, you know, it's going to be bike clubs. The reason we're after that is because, you know, the numbers of people that are wanting to help. We've already heard from some of them, and they're very large organizations. And so, you know, I know it'll be at least a few thousand, but you know, the purpose or the way we want to structure that day, and July 16th, Saturday, July 16th. I know the street dance is the week before, but is for games at the fairgrounds for the kids. No charge to the kids. We're not going to ask the kids to pay for anything. It's adults coming in and giving money for a cause. And trust me, we have the people. But I know there's going to be apprehension on, can we handle that size? And I know we can. We just need the location.
There's gonna be a band at night then?
I'm sorry.
Counselor Gary asked if there was going to be a band in the evening.
Okay, so I have 3 bands willing to come here. The first would start probably about 6. We'd like to have it over by 10. It usually gets dark about 9:30, you know, somewhat half dark by 9:30 that time of year. We want the whole thing over by 10 o'clock. This is not something we want carrying into another day. And the show part would start around 6 p.m. There's going to be a grand prize and a raffle and lottery and all that. And but we have bands coming from California and from South Dakota. And we have a production company, very well known out of Minot. He's worked in Nashville. He's done the Minot Fair. He's on board with us. And we've got the talent. They will come. These guys have their own followings. The band out of South Dakota sold 1.5 million records. It won't take anything. The thing is, we don't want too many to come, really. I mean, not worried about hitting 5,000, that's for sure. I really don't see the need to attract more than that.
So basically, Jason, what you're asking the council for is permission to utilize the fairgrounds and or the golf course, correct?
Possibly both, really, if we could figure out a way. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to do this in the best, safe way. But I think it's going to take, you know, at least the fairgrounds. That'd be a good location for the bands, for the show, which is why a lot of people will be coming to, you know, get that part of it. But there's going to be stuff for the kids all day long is what we got the game guy out of Fargo. He's got the mechanical bull. He's got all the games, the dunk tank, everything for kids. I want them enjoying themselves during the day, you know. They want to see the show for a couple hours. It's free for them. You know, I'm not trying to get donations from children. This is, you know, for my son's friends, you know, so, and trust me, the people will come and they will donate. But we need room. Parking's going to be an issue. You know, where can we park it? So yeah, we're asking permission for the fairgrounds, possibly the golf course, and then an area for parking. I'll be buying insurance for the event. Okay. Talk to some of the taverns, 2 of them. We've communicated with, and we don't think there should be liquor sales. Only tap beer sales. They get a chance to make a lot of money. That's where all their profit is. The tavern is tapped, and we would sell mugs that would go to the foundation. People use the mugs, they take them home. So no cans, no bottles, and really I wouldn't want liquor sales. They're gonna make enough money off beer. You know, people drink beer, they get tired, happy, and they pee a lot. They drink liquor, some of them, they don't know how to handle it. But yeah, I'd like to cut off and end the whole event by 10 p.m. So that's what we're looking for.
Oh, there's gonna be police.
I'm sorry.
The mayor asked how it's going to be policed and what your idea is for security.
Okay, so one of our deputies, you know, Doug, you know, he volunteers down at Sturgis. He's told me a couple of times that he knows what we're kind of needing, or I'm sure he'll know what I need. If we needed assistance for them, I'm sure I can get that. The clubs that would be participating also will have their own people policing their own people. But yeah, I need to know what Andy and Doug would need to help out with that. So I don't know. That's another reason we're coming to.
That sounds like a good job for the school resource officer. You know? I mean, and you should stop.
Can you hear that okay?
Jason, this is Andy. I don't know if you can see me or not.
Can you see?
Andy.
Hey, so how we have a permit for festivals, dances, that sort of stuff. And within that, there's normally how we do it, you know, I want to say, when did Cando have their 125th?
I was the mayor, but I don't remember when. It's been about 10 years ago, yeah.
Something like that. And that was, at that time, well, from now until then, that was probably like the biggest type of street dance, bigger than any wedding dance we've had. And I have no idea on numbers for how many people were there, maybe 200 or 300, something like that. We had four police officers for that. When you're talking, 1,000 or 2,000, man, one cop, per, 300-400 people.
Right.
And then on top of that, the Century Code says that you have to have, when we've done wedding dances, or when people have approached us about doing wedding dances, they've said, well, cousin Bill, he can be our security guy. And if there's alcohol sales there, they don't you have to have either licensed security or a licensed police officer. And in the summer, with enough heads up, we could probably get, 9-10 people together that could probably do it. And that's at, I believe it's $50 an hour is what we charge for that stuff. But if it's gonna be, I'm assuming, that's probably a more realistic number, 2,000. And like I said, 9-10, police officers, licensed security guards, that sort of thing should cover it. What I'm kind of worried about is, even at the fairgrounds, even just 1,000 motorcycles, I don't know where you'd put all them, plus, have the actual event.
I had an idea.
It's such a small area out there,
Yeah, no, I had an idea on that. Just tell me where I'm wrong. What about coning off one lane of highway for parking? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can't do that on a highway. Somebody would.
But we definitely don't want people parking up the fairgrounds,
Yeah.
And then what I was thinking is if we have another area to park, we could, I could get shuttle vehicles in to shuttle people back and forth to parking. That's what I envisioned,
I know the last time, was that you guys that had the dance out at the pavilion a couple of years ago? Or was that the city?
That was the city, had the street dance out at the pavilion.
Okay. So the last time they had it out at the last time the city had that 4th of July deal out at the fairgrounds. They had the flatbed trailer kind of parked right on the northeast side of the pavilion there. And people were parking, these aren't numbers that are even close to what you're talking about. But there was enough room for people to park along that golf course road that goes out to the cart barns out there. And then that freed up, the area for the campground and then the little stage area and that sort of thing. But
You think Main Street would be a better deal? We can close that off.
yeah, when you're talking 2,000 people,
Football field.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, if we can come up with an idea on that, but I think shuttle vehicles would be needed, you know what I mean, to keep the parking away from the event. That would, and you would know this better, I think that would keep the event safer, and, with the vehicles away and everything, but the security end, if we need security guards or whatever, again, the foundation will cover that. Whatever you need. Basically is what I'm saying.
What's that? I can't give you guys permission for
No,
you.
I'm assuming if we talk to Chapman, we could use that for the sake of security.
Or we can have events on that area.
It's a Saturday.
No, I just mean, like, is that part of
You
like?
open the parking lot and people across the way, charge people.
Well,
You would have to farm.
July 16th is, hoping something's growing out there. Yeah, but never know.
Well, you charge them different range, and then you can charge them, pull them out too.
I don't care. I think we should support this thing and it's I'm fine with that. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'll figure out how to make it work.
Do we need to give them some type of a permit
Amanda, for this type of an event or not?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same, it's the same permit you would need, for a wedding dance or anything.
That's the hard part is this is not inside city limits, so I
City
mean,
owns that property.
we do
Yeah.
own it.
The liquor license out there has
The
to come
liquor
through the county,
license would have to come through the county.
Like I said, it's the same permit, that you fill out for a wedding dance or anything like that, Jason, but I think the biggest thing is just infrastructure. You're gonna need, 100 porta potties and,
Yeah, we'll get them. We'll get them, Andy. Remember,
all the little things nobody thinks about.
no. Hey, we already thought about that. We've got that stuff in motion.
Okay.
Trust me, this has been planned out for a while here, and we've got that already in line. We know, the biggest thing is the parking. Also, too, Andy, with the beer sales, we imagine having that uptown, more, beer tests where the taverns could get together and make their money together, because it takes a lot of help, and they could figure out their own deal there. But we wanted to keep the beer sales away from the fairgrounds where the event's going to happen because of kids. We just don't want that around there.
Well, I would think the beer sales would be okay at the event. Because if you're talking about having that start at 6 o'clock and go till 10, that'd probably be the best way to do it, is just have the 2 bars or 3 bars or however it is. Have them at, just like a regular wedding dance or anything like that. Have them right at the event, just to make it easier for people. So if you're watching bands and stuff, you're gonna want that. You're gonna want that cold beer there. But
Okay.
that cut down on people maybe having too many at the bar and then going to see the band or that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, all it is just the regular dance permit that we use for wedding dances and stuff like that, and fill it out to there's not many questions on there or anything, and
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The taverns were worried about being able to get the permit for up there at the fairgrounds and the golf course, because that's a county permit.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be any issues with that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll be the easiest part of it.
Where you guys at, Troy?
So you think about all the business this is going to bring into the community, to the foundation, and hey, we only want to do it once, but I just want the foundation to get a good footing, and that's what the foundation is for. And whatever you think you need, Andy, or the city thinks it needs, hey, we'll figure it out. Now, I know one person asked about lodging. We're not worried about lodging because, when you go to the Minot Fair, they don't set up lodging for everybody. You just go, and we're not worried about that. But local people could make money, renting out a spot here and there for campers, people that want to throw a tent up for the night or whatever. But we're not carrying. We don't intend to carry it past 10 o'clock. Anyhow, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of, maybe talking with the golf course and, being able to use that driving range area, and, the parking thing, we can kind of talk about it and maybe come up with somewhere. That'll probably be a golf course thing too. Probably have to use some area of the golf course, for parking and that, but
quick question, Sue or Jason. Is there any other activities for, like, say, for the adults that's going to be going on besides like raffles or anything like that before 6 o'clock, or is the main adult attraction the band and stuff starting at 6?
Oh, yeah. Good question. Yeah, in the morning, early afternoon, I've got somebody that would be in charge of it. That would be the games at the fairgrounds. That we've already got them set up. He's going to bring stuff for the kids to do. Ryan came up with a good idea for kids to be able to win something. Doing maybe a cornhole game for them. It's going to be a lot of stuff for the kids to do up until say about 4 o'clock. Going to be roasting pork, hog, and that would be after between let's see, about 2 and 4 o'clock. And so yeah, there'd be a lot of stuff for the kids to do. One of my daughters also came up with an idea of in town for the kids in the morning or something, a 3-on-3 basketball event for them, just to get them something to do. And that's easy to do, So she's going to basically take over the kids' activities and getting them involved during the day. Okay. And then we kind of shut that down for eating. And that's where I guess possibly the street dance the week before, where they're thinking, Ryan's talked to, friends he has on the fire department, and it hasn't been doing too good the last couple of years. They thought about merging with our event and, doing their cook-off thing and all that when we do the food, so see where we're going there, which would help them out as well. As far as raising funds for the fire department.
So then Jason, the fire department would do their rib dinner on the, this is our short range from the Legion Commander. So the fire department would do the rib dinner that weekend then?
Yeah, that's what they've discussed doing. I mean, people have already been talking about that, and I don't want to drop names, but yeah, they've thought about just doing it that way. It would work out so much better for them, and they would bring in more revenue this way, and that's good. That's what we want. Like I said, this is for our community and to benefit. So I think we can think of a few ways for that to happen.
Right, and the reason why I'm asking is a couple, 3 or 4 years ago is when we started doing the street dances, the Legion would sponsor it. But it wouldn't be any sense to have a street dance July 9th and then your thing July 16th. I think we should just go down to the one and figure out where you guys want to have it at, and then but I was wondering if by any chance, are you going to be around sometime that would work out that you'd be able to meet up with the city, the fire department, and everybody some evening up at the Legion, and we could just sit there and talk about what you want to do?
You name the time and place, I'll be there. And I'm just out of town for a week here, for regular customers. You just name the time and place, and I will be there.
Okay, Dawn is working. She's our Dawn Otahambo. Dawn Stein's our food committee person, chairman. So I'll let her send out a date of when she thinks it'll work out for her, along with the rest of us, and it'll be strictly nothing but this thing here. Then we can report back. We'll have it before the next meeting. And then we can just sit down and talk as far as what you want to do. And because if we don't have the street dance, the Legion doesn't have the street dance here, that's fine. But the whole thing is people come to our street dances and they only want to come one weekend. So I'd hate for you to miss those people too. So.
Right, you might as well have it all at once.
All one weekend. So what I'll do is once I get Dawn's email or text about what day she wants to do it, I'll get a hold of Susan, and then we can sit down and talk, and we'll go from there. So does that sound all right with the city?
Let me know too.
And we'll get Andy there
Get
too.
Andy and a couple of us up.
Yeah, and well, what I'll do is I'll let Amanda know when we're
Yeah,
planning to meet, and then we'll meet up there some evening. So-
I'm open one anytime. No. Are you even in Amanda? Well, it depends on whether the airplanes are flying or
Whoa.
if I'm driving and I get my estate planning done, then I said, we gotta get this done before we leave. She said, well, we're leaving on Saturday. I said, no, we're not done. So she working on it right now.
Just a couple things that I thought too that we maybe need to talk about when we do that is square footage. So how big is the fairground land? How big is the golf course? And figure out even just something as silly as porta potties. If you're doing 100 porta potties, where are they gonna be? How much space do those themselves take up? And kind of map it out. We could figure out if there is physically enough space to
Well,
have that.
I can tell you how many porta potties they needed at the inauguration when I went there for Trump. There was 4 areas, and I was in one area, thought this was some VIP ticket stuff. And there was 55,000 people in there, in that square. And there was 50 porta potties.
Ouch. Better not drink too much beer, huh?
Well, I felt bad for the girls because they were kind of messy.
Well, there's a lot of trees up there in that area.
But I mean, I don't think you need a.
If you go on Google Earth, you can get the.
Well, I already know that it's 20 acres in the golf course and the fairgrounds,
It's 20 acres. Okay. Well,
but I don't know what the fairground, oh yeah, we can just map it out.
Just map it out and see what it,
Google it.
see what it
Do we
looks
got
like.
anybody in them prize parking spots or are they not using them?
I don't think there's anybody out there.
I thought Nick was using it.
Nick moved Bisbee.
Oh, we moved to business? Oh, well, then, no, we don't. I had not heard that.
One thing, and I don't know where, stage and the band would be at and stuff, but I don't know if I would plan on using the bleachers out there.
No,
That's gonna have to be all roped off.
They're condemned.
Yeah, those are pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
That's gonna
No,
be
we got,
really good.
we've got 3 step decks handy for the stage.
Okay.
Yep, they'll be set right next to each other, side by side. And like I said, the production guy, he handles all that, the electrical. He just needs 220 up there. We don't need bleachers, stands, or shelter, so.
The main power source that. There is one.
We were out there looking one day, I don't see no light, nothing.
You sure?
Not that we've seen.
I don't know where they powered up for that van they had out there just a couple years ago.
Well, there's power at the well.
There's power at those bathrooms and shower house.
Yeah, so someplace around there, but that.
There's power in the pavilion. Pedestals for the campers have power.
There used to be a big panel underneath the north end on the bleachers, and I don't know if they took that down or not.
When we went out there with Nick and them, it looked like that was just kind of hanging there, all tipped over to the side or ripped, I don't know.
But there's good power at the campgrounds,
Yeah, there's power there someplace. Yeah.
Something's gonna have to be checked out.
Some extensions.
Well, campers are 220. So they could be,
They have to do something like that, they know different.
yeah.
We had to rewire that building somehow.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can
generator
generate.
too, right?
What's that?
We could do a generator too.
Yeah,
That would work too, yeah.
except for that's a little bit noisy,
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing.
Thank God there's music.
Yeah.
That'd be the only thing with that,
Right.
would be that.
Okay, well, that sounds like a plan then. We're just gonna try and get a group together here and pursue this a little farther. When's the next city council meeting?
2 weeks.
2 weeks from tonight. 18.
January 18th.
This is gonna go, it's gonna get, a lot of stuff has to happen here.
So we gotta get started
But
on it. Yeah.
it's at least 6 months away anyway, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll get Dawn to send out one tonight and we'll go from there. So I'll get ahold of you tomorrow and let you know, probably Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
They probably should try and work with Jason, though. He's the one that's got to get here from somewhere,
Yeah.
you
He'll be
know?
home next week.
Okay,
Yeah, just let me know.
and that's the only thing. Everybody else is pretty free to come and go.
Yeah, yeah,
If he's on the road,
yep, exactly.
he's the one that's got to almost pick the date.
No, hey guys, I'll be home by Monday, Tuesday, weather providing. Anytime after that, I'm available.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks.
Thanks, Jason, for your time.
Do you
You're,
guys, do you guys think I'm okay? These guys are wanting me to sign contracts for the event, you know, the talent. Do you guys think I'm all right or?
Yeah, I don't think we were opposed to this, just the logistics. I mean, you can do a straw vote, but I don't think there's anybody.
Yeah, I
against it.
know, I think we're fine.
We're good.
looks good on this end.
Okay, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. This is gonna be good. And yeah, thank you for understanding.
Okay.
Sounds good, Jason. You are free to continue watching, or I'm just gonna go ahead and mute you, and if you exit, take care.
Yeah, hey, could you just let Andy know too, if whenever he wants to get together and go over that, shoot me a text.
Yeah, I'll try and meet at that same meeting that Troy's scheduling. Sounds like everybody will be there and I'll probably be the one to go to.
Okay. All right, thanks, Andy. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
This is only a one-time deal too.
Get a jump start on it. Get a jump start on the foundation.
Maybe if it went good, maybe you would want to keep doing it.
Is there anything else you want to add to this,
No.
Susie? I didn't hear him all the time.
I cried too much, so I don't wanna.
This will work all right with the Legion, you figure, Troy, then.
Yeah, it actually takes a lot of stress off of us from having to do anything. We'll just jump for every weekend with these guys instead and, you know. I think
Troy,
that
there's
works.
one other thing you can ask Jesse tomorrow. Are they planning on having a car parade if that's the same?
Well, that's something we'll have to all talk about on that thing because.
I don't know what they
one
couldn't do
point
that the same day,
Yeah.
right?
Gary was talking about.
We'll be able to the same day.
Yeah, we'll have to do everything all on the same day. So they'll probably, we'll have Jay's, Jean, your Jessica there too, to bring that up too, so. I'll get some things lined up, some notes and some. We'll kind of go over some of the concerns, you can talk about the concerns for the city, and then we can kind of run down the list, okay, here, this is what we wanted, we still want to have our normal crazy day type of thing on that day, something happening downtown, the big businesses downtown. Yeah, still has the fire department have their good dinner. The Legion is just there to help, you know, bring people in. We're not looking, when we have our street dances, we're not looking for any money. Money is given to us by the city and by the county, by the residents. That's a slot machine, so we just turn back and give it back to the bands or whatever. We were hoping to do a band this year, but you guys have the bands, and we're not gonna worry about it, so.
I think it's definitely smart to pair up.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And both take advantage of.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
So,
So where are you gonna put these people when it's raining out soon?
I don't know.
Give Wes a call, see if we can have him at their shop.
Yeah.
Biggest one in town, or at the pasta plant.
Well, does anybody have any other questions? If not, we'll got a long meeting tonight to get started on that.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
that's where.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a estimate, I guess, from Wade or Bill.
This is a bill or an estimate?
So this is a bill. We did pay him. This is his work. He was originally scheduled to just come in and visit about what he was doing, and that was in the December meeting. So since then, I just paid the bill for him. If you guys have any questions about what he did, that's more like he was just gonna give you guys kind of a summary of what
I'm wondering, is Glenn's bill, the plumbing labor, is that what Glenn did? He's just some.
That's what my assumption is, yes.
Says forming labor right here.
Yep.
Just want to make sure.
I would imagine that.
$950.
Mhm.
But figure out for 20 years of maintenance for $6,000.
Mhm. When I visited with him, he had talked about, if I'm getting this correct, this is like the here and now that absolutely needs to happen, the bare bones. It'll get us by for a while.
Just a couple things. I think most of you heard, I got a call from that natural gas guy again. He'll call me next week. Now, I'm hoping he'll come to the next meeting and explain a little bit about the process of what's going on there. That's the plan. So I haven't heard from him for sure, so. I guess Scott's not gonna make it, but on that sewer that HydroClean just did, they did find a couple problems with Angie Fried's, Bob Gaffney's, and the Assembly of God Church. Their pipes are starting to flatten down, kind of collapsing right on the end.
So what the hell are they gonna do about that?
No, they'd have to dig them up.
No, it's their
That's
pipe.
their pipe.
Their pipe is bellied.
It's,
Oh, you mean the household guy?
yeah, they can,
Oh, I see.
when they went by the camera, they could look up in there and their pipes are collapsing,
Yeah.
is what it looks like.
Overton's, when I was in the truck, when they did that one was bellied and full of paper and the water was running over top of it. It was half full of paper, which has been there probably for years.
That's when we get plugged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eventually.
So
So,
do these people know this now?
well, Gaffrey's gone and Angie, I don't know if she knows it or not.
I don't know, Scott was supposed to get a hold of them all,
Okay,
so whether he did or not, I don't know.
Yeah, so they know what's going on here.
Yeah, I don't know if he got a hold of them or not, but that's
Because they're gonna have problems.
part of the problem. Anybody else have any other old business? No, we'll move on, our ARPA grant or.
So yes, I didn't send out all the documentation on that because it's quite lengthy, but the first report is due the end of April. So it's time to decide what to do with the money.
I thought we had a couple, 3 years on that.
Well, we have 3 years to spend it. That doesn't
Oh.
mean we have to decide pretty quickly
Which we're gonna.
what we're gonna do. So, Scott and I had visited just a little bit and we talked a little bit about some potential things. But by the next meeting, we need to kind of commit to a project. We need to commit to that whole bid process, all of that. We need to start moving along in the process. So a couple of issues. Scott thought maybe cammering the whole town. It's a significant financial investment, but he thinks that it would be
We just did that.
We just did
a
it.
really good idea.
We just did that.
He also said fixing the line by the school.
Which line is that?
North on Second Avenue.
Yes, I believe so. Yep, the
Yeah,
one that
where
has
we-
the problems.
Where we've just paved over.
Mhm.
No, that's in the alley, isn't it?
Which, the school, huh?
That's in the alley where they had trouble up by the school, isn't it?
Mhm.
Behind Butter's house and all the way up to.
Yeah, you're
College,
right.
I think
Mhm.
it's in the alley. It's not in the street.
You're right, Gary.
No, we wouldn't have done that street trim if it would have been.
No, that's what I was.
Oh,
We
they
also
also
had that sewer line on Second between Third and Fourth.
I think the issue is always in the alley back there.
Yeah, there's another one. You got the whole top of the board off of that one. Those pictures that they always show us. That's in the actual Second tab.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, did they know, and already went by the meat plant coming toward Maine, isn't there a issue there, you figured?
Well, there's, on the main there.
Yeah.
The sewer it's broken. You know, a few places are just eating out. But that thing flows so nice, I hate to
Oh.
even touch it. I mean, it isn't broke, it's been like that for years.
Okay.
I think when they were doing all the butchering, all that blood and stuff from the animals, and I imagine there was a lot of gases coming off from the ate cement up. That's what my guess.
Okay. So anyway, what else? did you have?
Couple things, a valve to break up the line along 12th Street. And then, of course, this is my vote, to upgrade our system for reading meters to a fixed collector. That would send daily, hourly readings to the office.
Doesn't this have to be just the sewer?
This is water and sewer infrastructure.
It's
And I
considered
believe
that?
this would count for that ARPA money.
Okay.
It's creating infrastructure, improving the water system.
Okay.
You guys are welcome to throw a whole bunch more ideas out there, but it definitely is time to start seriously talking about what are the needs in our town. Barry can maybe shed some light on what some other towns are starting to do. I don't know if you're at liberty in the same boat.
Not enough.
Not enough money.
You need to start prioritizing and go from there.
Mhm.
You got a wants and a needs.
That's right. So that's for you guys to to decide, I guess. But it probably will take, I don't know, Scott and Rudy, and I mean, you guys will probably need to have some lengthy, detailed discussions about that. Kind of goes above my head, but anyway, my point is it's time to put our money where our mouth is so that we can move forward.
Yeah, you said that backwards.
Put our mouth where our money is. Yeah, that too. Like I said, the report has to be done by April 30th. That report covers the period between March 3rd, 2021 and March 31st, 2022. And I have a very lengthy what that report needs to have. It's 180. I don't have it off the top of my head, $186,000 or something like that.
Yeah, and we're gonna get that again, right? Or part of that? Or is that
That's
total
the
for 3
total,
years?
yeah.
Okay.
I
We
have
got
to-
about a third of that now.
We got half,
Yeah, okay.
so I can get the exact dollar amount. But- So, and then also linked in with that reporting deadline. I don't know. We're small beans, but all the contractors that are going to start doing these projects are gonna start feeling it. So we just have to make sure that we are enough on their list that we actually get touched.
Well, when we get this big, we gotta get more involved, so.
Mhm. Yep, we'll have some engineering, discussions and whatever, and there's just a lot to it, so definitely time.
Yeah, round one. Worrying about the sign here? Is that
I
what you're-
am, and this is just an observation on my end. I don't have an opinion one way or another. We absolutely need a new sign at the campground. There's no paint left on the one that we have. So I had reached out to a local person to get us a bid last summer, an estimate to repaint a sign, and that was never turned back to me. So I don't have a cost estimate from a local person. The end of December, I looked at the finances and we have about $680 some left that was budgeted. We have two options. We can turn it back into the general fund. Or we can, since it was allotted to repair, operation and maintenance, I can put some of that as a deposit on a new sign. So that's what you see here is just a very generic workup that she did. The installation, you can see that cost for $125. I don't see why our guys probably couldn't do that, but so my request was, you have two options: leave it as is and it goes back into the general fund, dated December 31st, or I can issue a check to Extreme Signs for a deposit on a new sign.
We had them do our signs for our office.
They do a very good job.
Who are you talking about now?
This is Extreme Signs and Graphics.
That Mandy,
Yep, that's Mandy
Yeah.
Thomas.
They fixed the car wash sign too.
Mhm. And Decorated also does signs, and I think there's one other place in Devils Lake, G&G or something like that. I just reached out to her. She turned this around to me in 5 minutes. So, I mean, it doesn't mean, but once we give her that deposit, we're securing, there's no return on that money.
I think she's reputable enough.
They're reasonable too, very. We got bids that were 4 times as much.
Yep,
for the same sign.
absolutely.
Well, you want to get the sign made, painted?
Well, they're gonna put, it's gonna be a plastic one with those vinyl letters on that, holds up way better than paint.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to do the sign.
All right.
Might wanna, when they do that, have, if you're gonna put the prices, have that cut out in a separate thing so you can peel it off and change it if you wanna lower it.
Rudy actually suggested that to have a, you've seen those letters that you can change out, where we could maybe advertise more of our rates and our availability and stuff in there to easily change it out. So the beginning, the top would be Cando Campground or whatever, welcome or whatever it is. And then maybe the bottom could have a little bit more information. Right now we have like a brochure rack basically that's out there, and it's pretty rough looking as
Who's
well.
overseeing that program now? Out there, the campground, who collects the money and all?
Bruce does.
We do.
Bruce does?
Bruce, Scott,
Bruce and Scott.
whoever goes and checks it. So, so there's that. So we had Jimmy and Jeremy.
Second? Okay. You want to go ahead and pay out of last year's money, then put that
Yes.
down on it. Okay, that's the motion.
I had made the talk in my email, like 600, so that there would just be a tiny bit left in there for anything. I made that like with one
Well,
week left.
isn't she also the one that made that you can do banner sign on the side of the library too?
I think she
That's-
did.
Yeah, that's who did that one. So,
Mhm, I think she did.
so that turned out great. So.
Motion been made and seconded to go ahead and have a sign made for the campground. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion carried. Community Development, that's, we had your meeting, I guess, and as you can see, there was only two parties.
Which one? 6.
Number 6.
That's just an acknowledgement as well.
The ambulance, just want to know if that was, they purchased a nitrous oxide for pain management. That's a partial payment on that. So they can transfer ALS patients.
Look at that, and next we can move on. We got a new bid from Lane. He was what, 12 or 12.5 before?
Mhm,
Mm-hmm.
It's 12.
So he's asking for a little bit of an increase there.
This is a 3-year bid then?
Pardon?
This is a 3-year bid?
Yeah.
Usually been just a 1-year one.
Hmm?
It's usually been just doing a 1-year one, but
Oh.
We don't have to put that out in bids every year. Do we?
we have it back.
I know.
Doesn't happen, then.
I can't imagine, that seems like a lot of money, but would you like a weed eater?
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Huh?
That's,
No,
No, he
yeah,
does it, he does it right.
He said that, he said he made a lot of money this year because he only did the whole thing twice.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
I mean, he can do it in a couple days, you know.
Yeah.
He does a very good job at it.
But,
but you can lose when you gotta mow every 3-4 days.
He's got a big roll of string that he keeps putting on his weed eater.
Oh, it's gonna rain on July 16th or so. Huh?
Don't jinx it.
No.
I make a motion to pay him $13,000.
Okay, Sig second. So motion been made, seconded, we'll raise the rate for Lane, for seventh series mowing to 13,000. So all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Or it just keep getting more expensive all the time.
Oh, yeah, maintenance isn't any good on either. So. Okay, this Jerry wants a new contract, so.
I think it's $500 a month and once paid $60 an hour. How many hours does he actually work for us?
So I'm still kind of wrapping my head around how this works. So regardless, he gets $500 a month. Regardless. And then if he does like a city assessment, like what we kind of have been talking about doing, that would be his $60 an hour. And then he goes around and he checks, I don't know, sheds, and he looks at our building permits and changes that in the tax base and all of that. He also gets the software that we have a city-owned computer with our software that he provides. However, in talking with Jerry, I mean, he's kind of close to reaching the end of his professional career as well. So we will probably be shopping for an assessor before too long.
I will say that Joni caught me upstairs one day and she says, whatever you do, do not lose this guy.
That's what she
said,
told me
"There
too.
isn't any others."
That's exactly what she
And that
told
was her
me.
words. She said, we don't know what we're gonna do when he goes.
What are we paying him now?
$500 a month.
This is the same.
This is exactly the same.
It's exactly.
So no, okay.
I don't know, pay that too then.
Okay, motion been made, is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded to retain your Ratzlaff as our assessor. So all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Do you have an original to sign?
I do.
Okay, I'll go. Guess me to that.
It's actually, his signature is scanned in, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Either one of these.
Go Paul. This is the one out of South Dakota now. I don't know, they've been up, I guess Siggy and I met with them at the time they come up, wasn't it, the city shop? These guys seem to be pretty sharp, what I could see. I kind of got a bad feeling out of that last outfit out of Fargo there when they, like on all those bells in the lift stations, when they said we had to replace them all for $10,000 a piece, and Scott and the rural water guy got down on them and turned them all, got them open by themselves. So I mean, I kind of lost a little faith in that Fargo outfit. Yeah.
No, they said they were stuck.
Yeah. We had all of the lift stations needed $10,000 worth of.
I don't
bells
even think
replaced.
they even tried to turn them.
Well, who knows? You know?
That'd be my guess.
And I guess I don't remember what we paid them either, but I don't, you know. For some reason, I was wondering if it wasn't more than this, but I can't remember. Did you happen to
I didn't pull the
look at it?
the
No.
information.
So this is a contract per year with them?
I guess that's what they're asking for. Yeah, I haven't seen this before just now either. So I'm assuming that's what they're talking.
That's what, yep. And so the cost breakdown would be $960 to check ours
It's once a year.
once a year.
And it's gotta be more than that because we got, what, 5?
He had 3 on the paperwork that he sent me. And that's what I wasn't clear on, if they need to check them all or just those 3.
That one there by Hunts, they probably don't even look at. You know, my little Foreman house there, I'll bet that one they don't even look at.
Yeah, he just had 3 on the paperwork.
Oh, there's one by the bus barns and there's
Yeah.
two down by the bus plant.
Yeah, and then there's the bus barn and Hal Cooper bus barn, and then the main one down at the lagoon, so.
Yeah, so there's 4 of them that should be checked.
We better, they all need to be checked, yeah.
All of them? Okay.
But I don't know, I guess this old Bill is still working too, that guy that's, you know, but he's gotta be getting up
I guess he
there.
went back to work.
That's what we've heard, so I don't know, you know, it's, although we haven't heard any more from him.
No.
Well, if you like this guy, Mayor, I think we should just.
Well, I don't know what you think of him, see, they sure seem to,
The one I think we're talking to is the one that was talking about retirement.
yeah, and I think he probably did, you know, but he was, the other guy he had with him, it seemed like they knew what they was going on.
Yeah,
And they did do some work for us. Remember what we have to fix,
Well, down on the south end, they worked down there on that one.
we're leaving this alone until we get all the.
or should Joey get table this and try and get some bids from the other ones?
But these guys, I mean, they know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, they were good, yeah.
I don't know about price wise.
To make sure we get all the lifts on here.
You know,
Yeah.
a few of the lifts are pretty easy.
Yeah, we maybe should talk to them first here, but tell them there's a few more lifts. We can table this till next, let's table this till next meeting. Give us a chance to talk to one of these others.
Is that something that Scott will handle or who will?
Scott should be, Scott should talk to them about the number of lift stations we have, that they have to look at and then see. Maybe there's such a thing that even doing cheap, but there's more to do. You know?
Okay.
Next one here, I don't know what to do with. I don't, it's, I guess I'm not convinced that's a city building,
Where's this now?
the hockey rink.
Oh.
The next item here, they want this new roof and I,
Does it need the whole roof?
no. That's the thing, city walked it all, you know, just what, 15, 20 panels maybe?
Is this $87,000 for the whole roof?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah,
all
I
we're
would've liked to
doing-
went up there and looked at it, and I haven't, I'm not gonna go up there now.
No, but the city did.
Oh, you've been up
So
there?
I went on top of it. I was talking with Randy about this and what they're proposing here is putting tin over top,
I see that.
you know.
Yeah,
But he said Gleason did this bid pending an engineer's approval. So you think about putting all that tin up on top of that roof again.
yeah.
So who's paying the engineer?
Like I said, I'm not convinced it's a city building. When that was built, see, Buddy donated the land to him. And then the hockey boosters actually put up the bill because Buddy and Mel Peterson co-signed the note for the steel. Well, so I don't know quite how did it become a city building. I said, I'm not so sure the hockey booster shouldn't be looking at this thing, but I
Well,
don't
it
know.
It was an all-seasons arena to start with,
Yeah,
and I don't know if that was involved with the city or not, but it was supposed to be used for everything. They even put potatoes in.
Yep.
You know,
mhm.
and so I don't know. I don't know. if they always-
You know, isn't that building, they have the softball, what's the park board's involvement in that?
They run it. I
Well,
mean, they knew.
They always thought it was theirs.
Well, I thought it was too.
They always thought it was, you know, here they are, we've got all the liability for this building. They collect all the revenues and pay the bills for it. And we find out we own the building. You know, and then you got all the
When you say we, are you talking about
the
us?
city, the city,
Yeah.
yeah. And all the equipment in there, for the most part, is the hockey boosters.
Mhm.
The boards, the Zamboni. So this is one of them deals, it's like, why don't we just turn it over and let them run it like we thought they've always had it for years?
I agree.
The park board?
Turn it over to the park
Or
board.
just give it to, or maybe sell it for a buck if you have to. Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
we were all under assumption that the park board ran that thing. I mean, they've been,
Well, they are
Well,
running.
you were on there for a number of years. Is that what you're talking from that experience?
yeah, I always thought that it was, that my dad gave it to the park board.
That's what I thought too.
So I'm wondering, when my dad did it, was he doing it as a private person that owned the land, giving away the hockey boosters building, or was he doing it as the president of the hockey boosters?
I haven't checked into the records yet.
One will never know.
Well, the only thing that we know is that Big Sig and Mel Peterson's co-signature isn't much good anymore.
No,
No, they're not.
right. And I know Buddy bought the land from my Uncle Pete.
Was that
That was
Pete's
part
deal?
of, that was part of the Beerson addition. So, I mean, he bought it from Pete and then he donated, it, but I assume he gave it to the hockey boosters, not the park board, but I don't know,
No.
Well, nobody seems to
Who
know.
actually raised the money the first time for the new rink? The hockey boosters?
Yeah,
The city didn't build the rink.
no,
Yeah,
no,
hockey boosters.
Hockey boosters did all that. We started putting boards up November 6th to 75. It's the day I was hauling boards back when my mother-in-law drove past with my wife taking her to the hospital for Michael's birth.
So that's what you remember.
So I remember that day.
I remember filling that pond.
Yeah.
So I gotta learn to run a dozer.
I don't know what, I just
The
don't.
pond, but the pond is where we floated the
Boards.
boards so we
Boards,
could bend
Bend
them.
them around the
Yeah.
corners. Yeah.
I remember, I was one of them
We
pushing them
put
boards
three-
in again.
We
the
put
girl.
3 poles in the ground and we bowed them
Yep.
for the corners.
Yep,
So,
smart of that.
Well, that was better than the straight corners at the old one, there's the
Yeah.
triangle.
yeah.
But,
So, but I don't know,
When we
I
got checked, it was kind of sore on the body.
I guess one of
She's
the,
got for records, if there's any type of records that show it.
I haven't looked too in depth, but I don't even know how far to even remotely go back. You guys have like a year?
70s,
You gotta be in about the early 90s, or early 80s and the late 70s.
like I say, we started, the first 2 years, it skated outside, I think, that would have been 75 and 6 or 76 and 7.
Was that kept in the
77.
paperwork, Steve?
What's that?
Would your dad have kept in the paperwork?
My mom would have, but
Yeah, your dad would too.
Yeah.
He kept
mom
everything,
had a heck of a deal for all that.
but boy, what orders that in too,
Yeah.
And then would they be on city records or park board records?
Probably park board, I suppose.
Who's on the park board right now?
It's in
The
there.
one that signed it on the back.
Yeah.
Right here.
Lee, Randy.
Right now,
Advice.
Page 10.
they could easily go up with some further roof and seal those spots up that are leaking.
Well, I don't know why we need a whole roof, if we don't need a whole roof. If
I don't
three-fourths of
either.
that building is fine, I don't need that.
Well, I guess if you can get somebody else paid for it, Gary, you do.
Well, yeah,
So
You
there's,
see what you got up there, each half has two sheets to make a half.
Yeah.
And it's the bottom halves that are, that are bothered. And what's happening is, just like your building, you can't find that dies that roll out that tin, that deal.
But see, they have evidently, Gleason has got somebody to do that. I'm doing another one of these roofs with that D&D roofing, they did that apartment at Charlie's, but they're doing what I call the old seed house out at
Yeah.
the farm, but that's not cheap either. It's only a 60 by 60 building and it's $33,000.
There's
But,
another-
I think what happened is moisture got in between the insulation and the tin, and that's why that.
Well, I'm sure that old rubber just started leaking after a while. Now you got, like you said, you got moisture that leaked
You
in.
got moisture in between, and then
It just caused
probably
rust
just that
underneath.
one area,
Yeah.
Did they ever look at recoding it like they thought, or they do that spray coating? I mean,
Yeah.
there's another piece of the puzzle here. There's also a grant that closes in the end of January. It's for Parks and Recs, and it's for improvement of things like hockey rinks. It's a 50-50 match though. Minimum project of 10 grand. And the park board would have to apply for it. The city cannot.
You should probably get that too.
He has it.
Okay.
But I mean, it can also be used for swimming pools and playground and picnic stuff. So I think that us two entities need to kind of talk about that. Because I asked the lady at the state, so if it's a city-owned building, can the park board still apply for the grant? And she said yes. 50-50 match is pretty darn good, but whether the park board's gonna spend their 50-50 match on a building that isn't theirs, it's up to them.
Well, I think that the feeling around this board is if they want us to deed it to the park board, we will.
Just give it to them.
Does the park
but-
board want it? Can they deny it? Like,
No, sure. But I mean, I still want to see the proof that it belongs to the city. I still think it's theirs to start with, to be honest. Them or the hockey boosters.
Is it anybody paying tax on that, or if it's a city thing?
it's recorded as a city-owned land. I don't remember.
Well-
It would be tax exempt on that.
So, when the buildings down at the swimming pool, how are they? Is that city owned too?
No.
I know those softballs are actually deeded to the park.
Those two?
Yeah,
Two
the
softballs.
diamonds aren't ours.
That's park board land.
What about the swimming pool in the park?
The park
Imagine the
is,
park is that.
yeah, the park is ours, but the pool is not, if I'm understanding that right.
Is that backwards again? The park is not, is ours, you mean the cities? No, it's not.
The park land is the city's.
Well, what about the swimming pool?
The swimming pool, if I'm remembering it correctly, is not.
That belongs to the park board.
I might have that wrong, but I know for sure that we.
Well,
own-
you know, they all should be one way or the other.
That's right, they
Yes.
should.
Mhm.
I mean, basically, that's what a park board's set up for, to take care of the.
We're kind
That
of,
entity.
you know, we keep circling back to that same thing that we've talked about, like. City landlord, are we a landlord? Are we partners with these entities? You know, they
Well, I
all,
think if you research it far enough, the park board was created to be a sub-entity of the city.
Yes, yes.
And that board is supposed to, and they're collecting taxes, you know, to spend on
keep it
how they
going,
see
you bet.
fit, but
And they put a lot of money into that building.
yeah, so I mean, I think that that's where, you know, from a taxpayer's point of view, it doesn't really matter. It's still taxpayers' money, you know, which entity you take it from, but I think that
They should be stepping up.
for that, and they can go back to the hockey boosters and they can come around to the alleged donors and we can donate some more money.
See, because right now the hockey arena is on Cando City's insurance. They're
Where,
paying
what
insurance.
about the swimming pool?
Swimming pool is not, they're insured separately.
the swimming pool is not owned by the city.
Yeah, it's not in here.
That's owned by the park.
And see now, when the insurance guy come around, when I was on the park board, you know, you gotta take out this slide or whatever, this toy or, you know, playground equipment, this gotta go out because it doesn't meet standards anymore. So, you know, saying the park is the city's property and then they're told that, you know, so some of the
Correct.
stuff they're paying tax or
Yeah.
or insurance on, and some of the stuff we're paying.
The
insurance on.
land that the park is on is city owned. The land is. The shelters are not ours.
And the equipment there, the like.
Right.
All the playground equipment.
Right.
Belongs to
Well,
the park.
doesn't that answer your question? Then the city owns the land, but they don't own the building down there at the skating rink?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hockey Wizards bought the building.
They bought it.
But we're paying insurance on the building, so if we're paying insurance on it, then it's city owned, because we technically by law, you can't insure a building you don't own.
But that
Just like
doesn't-
a car, if you don't own it, you can't insure it.
That doesn't mean it's
But that doesn't
That doesn't mean
mean
it's
it's
taxed.
That's right, but they, I mean, if it's, we gotta find out, because otherwise it's,
That'll be a loophole not to pay if it burns down.
Mhm.
or
Or
something
or a
happens.
liability accident, somebody falls and breaks their leg or something.
I've done that there.
Well, we'll get back to some
So
more
it's,
here.
you gotta really be careful.
Well, as I said, get our liability off of us as a city.
Yep.
Give it to them that they
Well,
want to
that's
have.
kind of the consensus here, I think, so let's pursue it.
If
that
we're gonna
way.
do this grant, though, we gotta get going though.
That's what's really
They
hard.
gotta do it,
So
not
are we
us.
gonna
Yeah, but I
approach the
mean-
park board about taking this off our hands?
Unless we can. You
Unless
wanna
we can
look a
show that
little
we
bit
don't
and
own
see
it.
if you find anything, I don't think you're gonna.
I would think that those minutes would be in.
What
With
if
the
nobody
park
can prove
board.
that they own it?
Well, would the courthouse or anybody have deed on that building or anything? Shouldn't that be at like the register of deeds
It
office?
would be
It would give you
tracked.
a date. at least.
Yeah, the question was if it was even recorded the right way. And that's what I haven't researched yet. I haven't pulled that back to match dates.
Why don't you see if you can find something quick and then,
Okay,
We,
See, the
No, we
city
don't
could
pay-
just give the park board a quick claim deed and then they.
Mhm.
just give it.
Because you're not gonna finance that and put a lien on that building.
No,
So they, and I bet it doesn't have an abstract.
I would doubt it.
do we want them at the table to kind of talk about it first?
I don't know if they wanna come, I thought they'd be here tonight, you know,
I think you
myself,
should
but
see what you find.
see what you find.
Okay, you know, the fire department's gonna be here the next meeting, maybe the park board could too, because we're kind of, I mean, it's the same,
Same issue.
it's the same issue.
We can tell them both no.
All right,
Okay, well, this next one, I don't know where you're gonna get into. What do you think, Given?
Okay, where is that bill? This is what.
Page 16.
16, all right, this is,
This is that one you dug up down by Charlie's apartment. so-
yeah. Okay, I was talking to that guy and I said, well, if it's leaking on the property owner's side of the curb stop, I'll pay for all of that.
Right,
And I'm not arguing that I should pay for all of that. But evidently Scott or somebody told him to put in a new curb stop, which is the city's.
yeah, that's the cities.
So all I'm saying is I think that the city should pay for the curb stop and some of the labor. Because,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know where, I wasn't there, but it was broke on the property owner's side. where it was leaking.
you're gonna take care of everything.
Yeah,
on
and,
it.
and I'm not,
Yeah.
but I'm also, this bill, I'm paying for the curb stuff, and Linda went ahead and paid the bill, because I told the guy I would pay it. But I think what I'm requesting is that we get reimbursed for the curb stop and some of the labor to put the curb stop in.
Mhm.
the tally is on the bottom. So if you divide the labor costs in half, that would be $820. And then the
Okay, 227.
the 227 and the 59.99. So the total that if the city were to pay Jim back, it would be $1,107.65.
And your guess is as good as mine as why are the curb stops now out by the curb and they're in the middle of the yard. And I think that was, got broken when I had stinkaways in there and they dug in the new propane lines, they were leaking too. And I think they hit that curb stop is what I
Could've,
think.
yeah.
I don't know, but I, you know,
Well, I mean, the curb stops are responsibility, there's no doubt, you know. Scott had to put a new one in, that's the city.
did we need that or not?
I don't know.
But Scott was down there, well, Bruce was down there all day and didn't do a thing according to Denton and the guys that were working on the apartment. But if they were watching Bruce so much, I bet they were doing about the same thing too. Yeah, we had plenty of supervisors down there.
But anyway, I don't know how long it takes to put the curb stop in. They had to dig over to that anyway. But how much time did it take to put the pipe, or how many feet did they put in? 30
Oh,
or no?
It says
30 feet of 1 inch poly.
It's quite a bit to dig. It's quite a bit to dig a foot.
Yeah,
You're thinking the labor shouldn't be that, shouldn't be in half then.
pardon?
You're thinking the labor shouldn't be in half.
No, not quite half.
In that labor, you know, they had to, I'm sure we paid them to come here. you
Yeah,
know.
mileage and.
And I don't know, it doesn't matter to me really, but what do we pay, what do they charge the city in the conditions are far from ideal there.
Yeah, I know.
I think they.
The whole yard is still a big mess and I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to straighten it out.
They don't usually itemize it like X number of dollars for a site visit or X number of dollars for mileage. It's just all lumped into labor usually.
Mhm.
Do you have an approximation on the cost to put a curb stop in?
I
Have
don't.
we done just a curb stop?
It
Well, I
all
think it's
just kind of
$1,000 a curb
depends.
stop,
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
think it's about $1,1100. So what was I asking for?
820.
No, and then.
Plus
curb
the
stop.
curb stop.
Oh, yeah,
that's
the total
about
1107.
$1,100
Yeah.
bucks.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to pay Jim that instead of haggling over
I'll second.
$20, $30, whatever.
Oh.
you just
Pay them 1107.
Yep.
Okay. Motion been made and seconded then to pay the Jim the 1107, was it 55? 65?
65.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm,
Jim
Abstaining.
abstains.
Understand.
but thank you, I appreciate that.
Did everybody get a chance to go through this as far as this insurance stuff? Jeremy, how would you like to look this over a little bit?
I've looked at it before because we did the same thing when I had it, and it's gonna be coming back to us next year. It's hard for a community to justify the replacement costs on a building that's 100 years old. You know, because, I mean, you look at the Audi Theater, the amount of replacement costs at $2.8 million.
Well,
If that building burned down, are we gonna replace that building?
no,
So what's gonna happen is, okay, right now, we're insured for 1.192. Okay, so we're insured for less than half of what the replacement cost value is. So if you have a partial loss on that, you say if you had a $50,000 loss on that building, you're gonna get probably about 12.5. You're gonna get half of half.
say that all over again, so that soaks in for us.
Okay, when you're insured for undervalue on replacement costs on a building, you have a partial loss. Okay, the building's insured for right now 1.192 for the Audi.
Mhm.
Okay, you have a $50,000 loss. Okay, as of right now, it's not even insured for 50% of the value of replacement costs. Okay, so right away, you're gonna take off 50,000 or $25,000 off of that replacement because it's less than half replacement. Okay, now there's gonna be other factors that figure in there. You're probably only gonna get about $15,000 of that.
How come we don't insure, why don't we do this, Jeremy? Why don't we insure it for, I don't know,
Actual cash value.
yeah, 100 or 200,000 or whatever we think that is, and then if you have the $50,000 loss, that's fine, but if you have a $250,000 loss, you
The
only.
the only way you would get paid on a loss is if it was a total loss.
Completely and totally.
Really?
That's how it works. So when they're going through and redoing all these replacement cost values, we just had to do this as an insurance company too. We had to go and evaluate all of our properties. And everybody's went up $30,000 to $50,000 on replacement cost. Because with construction materials right now, $239 on a brick building is pretty cheap. Some commercial buildings are almost $500 or $600 a square foot. Homes are right now about $139 to $149 a square foot for replacement cost.
But what about these ones that, the houses that are depreciated out, they're 100 and some years old?
Doesn't matter. Still replacement cost.
Cost that much. to
Like
replace them.
my house is built in 1895. replacement cost on my house is $375,000.
Dude, I can smell a fire coming.
I mean.
How do you
talking
start a
about
flood,
shit,
doesn't it?
Like a rose, you know, but I mean, it's the way it is, and all cities and stuff are going through this because the NDIRF is,
Well, some of the stuff, I mean,
yeah.
the shop building,
Mhm.
$283,000.
No water treatment.
Well, look at the hockey arena, $3.3 million.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I look at these values and I said, they're nuts.
But that's what the replacement cost is gonna be on. There's cost estimators that we use to figure these out.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
that water plant is.
Yeah.
You're not, it's just.
Well,
It's a
yeah, you
storage
don't have all
facility,
that equipment in there, all that equipment.
I don't even remember.
Needs to be replaced.
So that's what, and I'm sure that's why Corey did this, is he wants you to know where how you're uninsured you are on these buildings. And every small town is gonna be the same way, just say like Houdini's building or whatever, their restaurant, it's $150,000 is what they had insured for, and replacement cost is like $325. You know, so it's insured for less than half of that. The bowling alley should be insured at $850,000.
Well, I sold it to Doug Howard for $40,000.
Exactly.
Don't tell that.
Well, no, he knows that. We went round and round and trying to get an insurance company to write it for $200,000 was impossible.
You can sign waivers.
You can sign waivers, but then when you have a loss, you can't.
You're only getting a portion of it.
Right, but to get people won't, they don't hear that. They do not, they refuse to hear that part. You explain that to them, we have to get it in writing now. That we explain to you, if you have a loss, this is what you're gonna get.
See,
And that's
that's
what we have
kind
to
of a
do.
sneaky chicken chip deal, isn't it?
It kind of is, but it's covering our butt because they could come back on us and say, well, you didn't tell me that.
No, I don't mean signing
Yeah.
up, but I mean that.
Replacement cost.
Just a way to jack the premium up, I think.
And you're gonna look, our premiums are more than double, way more. than
Well,
double.
see, but the one nice thing is NDIRF is it's a whole unit that their rates compared to like a commercial rate for like a commercial business is about a 10th.
Yeah, we
Like
get a
say
really
if
big
that Audi
deal.
was privately owned,
You'd
that would
tear-
be,
you'd end up
you're
tearing
talking
down,
probably
couldn't you?
$15,000 a year just to insure that building.
Mhm.
We probably pay like $400 a year.
I don't even think we
$500
pay
a
that.
year. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here's what we're paying now, give us that number, and then give us this number if we decide to go with this.
Yep.
So we can see the difference.
Yeah.
That's right, that's a good.
So
idea.
basically, just say if you're paying 400, you're gonna pay 800. Yeah, it's probably, and they'll probably still double, even though it's a tenth of what a normal private owner would pay, because NDIRF is a conglomerate that all the cities and stuff, so the money that gets paid for premiums is what they pay out for claims. They have a staff of 5 people between North Dakota Tornado Fund and NDIRF for the whole company. They run every city in the state.
Always,
They go on big trips.
No, not, no,
All
they
we
don't.
need is something like Northwood, had, that tornado comes
Yep.
through, you can be. Worried out.
Yep, because, yeah, they went through that with all their buildings. were way under.
Do you know this guy?
I know Corey, yeah, and he was
Do you
actually,
wanna talk to him and get
yeah,
the firm figures?
yeah, I can have him do that.
Let's just table that also then until the next meeting, Jeremy will have firm figures for us. So. Okay, next one, I think I called everybody on this one and mentioned it. You guys are sworn to secrecy back there. They don't want this out yet.
On a public meeting.
Before you say, we can talk about it, we just can't say who the
Oh.
potential is.
We had a business, I guess I got an email from them when they want to put another business in town, which, well, to be direct, competition with one business we've already got, that's gonna really raise hell with everybody uptown, is basically what it would do. And I think basically what they asked us about is trying to get some help finding the land for it and this kind of thing, to help them get started. And Jimmy, did you ever talk to them people, or did?
I haven't yet because I wasn't.
Yeah, didn't know. You know, I guess it's like anything, we can't stop them from coming, but I don't know that we should be helping them either, because it's really definitely gonna hurt our uptown businesses, I think. And that's kind of the consensus I got from everybody when I talked to, you know.
I've heard the name brought up of Isla May already, so I think they've been approached to sell land,
Yeah, and I'm sure they probably were.
because Richard Lord had to get all of the stuff out of that granary because there was a potential buyer for the land. So I don't know if that's this company or
Or somebody else.
somebody else.
Okay, because I had heard that too, that they had those empty buildings, but,
And
I didn't know what
Roger was
for.
approached on it, so.
and that's the one they called, asked us about. Specifically,
Rollins supporting 3 stores.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they have Family Dollar.
Family Dollar and Dollar
and,
General.
Okay, I thought there was an.
Just the two,
That all there
well,
is.
Family Dollar and Dollar.
there's,
Dollar Tree.
that's the other one, the Family Dollar and Family Tree are the same, owned by the same, and they want to have one big building with both them in it. There, how do we do it? Shut the lid.
Remember, we're being recorded.
That's why I said shut the lid.
It's not gonna go anywhere today.
No,
This is-
but it's, so, I mean, I don't know, you know,
I'm not in favor of it.
in visiting with every, I will, like I say, we can't stop them. If they're doing it, they're doing
They
it, but I
get the
mean,
land, they could do anything.
they, right, it's up to them to do it.
It's over there, we don't have any control over it.
No.
Well, we do have a half-mile,
Yeah, but you
With the
can't
permit.
stop. There'd be
you
no.
got deny a permit.
There's no permits on that side of the highway, if that's the
Yes,
land.
there is. Yeah, they gotta have a
Sure
building.
is. You
permit,
guys still
but
got
that
city
we can't-
zoning.
We don't, I thought we did away with them.
No, you gotta have.
When Jody was here, remember, at the end, like, Westlands and all,
We just changed the dollar.
maybe that's what it was, they don't have to pay for it anymore.
They gotta pay, but they don't pay like they did.
Because we can
Goes
deny
on
a
square,
permit,
yeah.
can't we?
For what though?
On what, for what
On
grounds?
what grounds?
You know.
The,
Can we get a hotel put up over there, quick?
I'm not sure that I didn't make a mistake by turning Dollar General down behind the sign. Maybe if it's a $250,000 deal. I'll sell, then go to Arizona. and change my phone number. Stay there.
So-
Gonna be water and sewer issue over there.
Yeah, that's one problem they're gonna.
Yeah, it ended up being, yeah,
Rural water's back there, but
yeah.
the sewer,
Sewer,
we just, we don't have to let them hook onto our sewer line, that's for sure.
They'd have to probably have their own.
Or get annexed into the city.
Yeah.
But just where they think that they might need 20 employees, well, Dollar General has 4 or 5.
Yeah.
well, they're gonna find the,
Well, they're gonna
they
find them.
they ain't gonna get them, that's
The
what.
people that aren't working aren't working.
Mhm.
What are they gonna do for labor? I mean, Dollar General can't keep enough people now.
And they're paying decent wages there too.
I don't know.
Most stores are, the one at the Dollar General's pretty clean up there, that other ones, I don't hardly ever go. It's just filthy.
Where's that at?
In Rollin.
So that's where it's at, I guess, we just, you know, nothing for us to get too concerned with yet, I guess. I think in the general consensus and talking to everybody is we're probably not gonna go out and help them buy land or something like that. It's just, I mean, we can't stop them if they do it, you know, but and then, but I don't know where that
The
leaves
one
you,
thing
Jim.
I wonder is this, you know, are these new 2 entities, are they a wholesale supplier of a business that would be owned and the profit that's generated? Like Jessica's hardware store is not owned by Hardware Hank.
Right, she don't.
She owns it, and they supply the merchandise. And
They're all corporate stores.
they're all corporate stores, aren't they?
Yeah,
And
they're not individually.
They don't even have a bank account in town.
They're all franchise.
they're not franchised, they're corporate owned.
Yeah, it's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's corporate, yeah.
So,
There was some other. Up in that deal out there, Dollar General.
Dollar General doesn't own that building.
Yeah, we were dealing with somebody that. owned
They-
a home on that.
Yeah, they own the buildings.
people actually put the money up to build the buildings and they lease it from Dollar General. That is what they do, I think. That's
So what happens when you build
Lease it
that
too.
building and then these guys don't make it, and then
Yeah,
Then it's your building.
I imagine if you put the building up, you own it. So I mean, I guess, I don't know, I'd just leave that alone for a while and see where this goes. But
I told the developer that I would respond to him at something after the holiday. Is the response that he needs to take it to Towner County Economic Development? What is my response to the developer?
Well, that's what I think we should do, is turn it over to Jimmy's outfit there and let them pursue it. I mean,
Yeah, I'll
that's
talk
their
to 'em
business.
and,
I mean, or
find out
that's
how
what they
bad they
do.
really want land.
Mhm.
Jimmy can sell him his corner behind the
Mhm.
sign.
Imagine that. Doesn't smell of conflict of interest at all, does it?
Just abstain.
Well, I could, yeah.
So but I mean, that was my suggestion, go to them and see what they say, but I mean, I think, like I say, everybody I talked to kind of had the same feeling that, well, we can't stop them from coming in, but we sure don't have to help them get here.
I don't think you do either. Seems like you're just a direct repeat of what you got.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Plus, it's probably gonna hurt the uptowns more. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, it's got to.
it's,
Plus Dollar General, if they're making any money, they're gonna.
you know, Kevin at the store one day, I was shortly after his heart attack, but then he told me he didn't know things didn't start getting better if he was gonna keep on. He might just sell everything out of the store and close it down, he said. But then I think he was probably in a bad way that way. He said he had a couple, 3 people didn't come into work that day, and that was only 4 or 5 days after his heart attack. He said, I'm not supposed to be here. He said, I don't have no choice, you know. And that's the trouble around here anymore. Help, it's all over. It's everything, you know. So,
Maybe we should sell them hockey and
yeah,
they can fix the roof.
that should be big enough.
Well, I don't, kind of lost track of the whole hockey deal. How many kids are down there now?
Not many, you know, there's dollars on lights and that's about it.
See, Sean's
Mini
scored.
mites and mites stayed out of there.
What's that?
Mini
Jen?
mites and mites stayed
Oh,
out of there.
yeah,
There's
see.
probably 40 of them.
Even Sean's group, now 10-year-old, they're in Devil's Lake because they don't have enough here for a team. So it's going downhill. I mean, it's bad.
There used to be over 100 of them up, but there was
Kids
a-
and $100,000 for a roof, no.
Yeah.
But it'd be bad to lose it. but-
Yeah. So,
No, the county doesn't want it to stop. They don't.
I had
doesn't cost
72
them anything.
kids,
Yeah, pretty cheap for what they got.
One year.
in one group.
one group,
That must have been a circus.
Brent Foss and I, 72 kids. Come
I still
one
remember.
day. Huh?
Jesse, the first time I took her there, led her out to the middle and I said, this is a Brent Foss and your coach. And she looks up at him and looks at him. How come your hair's so long? I don't know what the answer was. I just turned off. Walked off. You know, he put a lot of time into that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
you know, that was your dad and I know he was gone one time. I think I had 30 some of them on the bench in one game, you know, they all get to play it, part of it, you know. So what a fiasco, you know, trying to throw him out there when you're supposed to, you know. But anyway, Public Works is not here. We'll just move on and then I guess Chantel, do you want to take this next one or Amanda, do you want to or who?
I'll let Chantel talk and then I'll,
I was just approached at work by Jerry Bolden saying that snow removal in the alley behind his place, I think it's behind your house too. He was concerned that this was probably 4 days after the last storm, that the snow was piled up in a way that an ambulance couldn't get there if we needed an ambulance. to come
Well,
get
they
us.
closed that.
Oh, it's back
Street.
open, it's back open again.
Is it open again now?
And we tried to close that alley off here a few years ago. but-
Well,
Well, I don't, I
it's
guess
not
I
an
didn't,
alley.
I don't know why an alley would be
not
considered.
an
an
alley.
alley.
That should be left open for fire trucks, so it's saved one department for burning back there.
Yeah,
It should be left open.
so I didn't go and look at it. He said he had talked to Scott, and by the time I emailed you, he had already been there
Yeah.
to clean it up.
So here's what actually happened. The legal alley goes like this. It's not a
It goes
T.
between
Right,
you and
it's
Westland,
not
right?
straight.
It's not straight. So the legal alley, and I'm gonna talk as a landowner now, not related to the city. That legal alley stops at our residence and goes south. So the apartment complex allows their residents to use that as a driveway. But it's not a legal alley, so the city has no,
Between you and Westland's house, that isn't.
no,
an
that
alley?
is a
That is
legal
alley.
alley.
That's no.
It stops at the end of our driveway.
Okay, it doesn't go to the.
It does
west.
not go all the way through to the apartment. So the
Correct.
apartment complex allows their residents to use that as a driveway. But the city's not required to keep that clean. That's no different than I drove down my side yard. The city has no, that has nothing to do with the city. So what happened is Jay was helping and he cleaned out the alley and piled the snow so that the alley was clear, but it blocked that driveway. For many reasons, he did that. That was a landowner thing. And I told him that he's gonna cause problems and he did it anyway. So we have landowner issues with that building. But anyways, so he cleaned out the alley. Scott had received several calls about that. So rather than, Scott just went over and cleaned it. But he only cleaned a bucket. You can't get a car through there. Because he's not required to clean it. It's not city.
Who's doing that? Who's doing the snow removal on the, huh?
For the apartments.
And he said Monty wouldn't move it because Monty thought it was the city's responsibility.
Yeah.
Is that the deal?
I don't know the apartment complex, who they have moving snow. I don't know that part.
Monty said.
Yeah, it's Monty. That's what Jerry said.
Yep, that's what he told us.
We used to do it, but they were such a pain in the ass calling up all the time that it wasn't worth the bother.
Well, and as a landowner, what has happened in the past is they damage our fence. And we have had to fix our fence many times. It's not meant to be a driveway. So either the snow, whoever does the snow either does it, or cars driving by or something. But so Jay his thought was, if I shouldn't do that, the landowner or the management company needs to contact me as a fellow neighbor. I said, Jay, you are making a really big mess of this.
Is there any entrance doors on that south side of those apartments?
Yes.
There isn't any.
Yes, there is.
There
Yeah.
are doors, but there's not, yeah. And there goes to there's a back courtyard or
So
whatever.
they can
back there.
actually park on that road when it's in the summer? They park?
They've actually got a parking spot next to me on the west side.
Oh, they do, huh?
Yes.
No, I'm talking about on the south side.
They
of
used to
the
pull in there when
complex.
I'm
Jesse
talking-
lived there. They
Apartment B
Parking.
runs north-south. And they've got a south entrance, and right to the west side of it, they've got where they pull in. and hit
Who's
the park.
managing that now, man?
It is Ramsey, it's not Ramsey County anymore, but it was Ramsey County Housing Authority. It's like a 6-county collaborate now, but so what I told Chantel was, as far as the city is concerned, I don't see how the city should be moving that snow. Jay maybe shouldn't have put it there. That was maybe not a neighborly thing to do, but I don't see how that's the city's responsibility to move it.
Mhm.
If the apartment complex has an issue with what their neighbor did, the apartment complex should call the neighbor, not the city.
But
That-
we as a city, if that's piled up there, we gotta tell them, they gotta move the snow off of their. I was gonna call it an alley, but their driveway. That's what that is, Sig, isn't it? That whole thing across the.
Basically, it is, yeah.
It's a
But
driveway.
not entirely, because when I complained, they put up T-posts, so nobody could drive. Those T-posts disappeared, and now people are starting to drive through there now.
Wasn't that happened one time years ago, Gary? We talked about this and I think they decided to close it.
It was closed for a
It
while.
was supposed to drive.
Yeah, I made sure of it.
Yeah, around the south side of that.
Yeah.
whole complex.
Yeah, they had to stop back in there.
I don't think it should be driven back in. unless it's
Originally, they
emergency.
wanted to close that whole alley all the
Yeah.
way, but you can't, because if you're gonna go behind like Monty Miller's house, you gotta be able to get someplace.
Yeah, you gotta get in.
And that
propane or
is
whatever.
clean, just
Yeah.
so everyone knows, the city does
The north-south one's clean, behind your house.
behind, you know,
And the east-west one right south of your house.
yes.
Narrow back, you know, but it's.
Yeah.
It's scooped
Getting
out.
narrower, isn't it?
But they need
Everybody's
it,
yards are getting bigger.
they need to get propane too. Because that's been a concern.
Getting more and more stuff parked back in there too. It's tough to get through.
There's yeah. So the city, I mean, the
I
resident
think you gotta
concern,
tell goofy old Jerry that that's a driveway and get a hold of the.
Private driveway. It's a private driveway.
And they need to clean it out.
Talk to Monty.
and I wasn't sure, because I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of it in a way that I probably shouldn't be.
That's correct. too.
So I didn't comment on it. I didn't reach out to Jerry. And I thought I would wait until we talked
No,
about
I-
it.
Which is probably why you didn't want to call you, because I said, what did you call the city office?
Yeah.
Not the city's problem, I don't think I think you need to
I
tell
don't
them.
think it sounded like it was either.
But Jay
That-
shouldn't,
that's-
but Jay
that's-
shouldn't be blocking that with
Because
the
Monty
snow
probably
that he
doesn't
took out
know.
of the alley. We should all that out of there.
He's basically putting it on somebody else's property.
Yeah.
That's
is.
not ran, that's a no.
Yes, yep.
If we, whatever Jay piled there, for the good of the city he did, if that needs to be hauled away, we should haul that pile away.
Scott did
Scott already
scoop,
did.
scoop
Yeah,
out
okay.
quite a bit of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
all right.
good that way.
And so, and Jay was pretty honest. He said, if somebody wants to talk to me about it or whatever, I mean, he's fine talking about it. He knew that it had nothing to do with me.
Well, yeah, just tell him that you can't be putting snow. on
That's what I
somebody's
told him. I said, he said, well, when somebody complains about it, the management company can call me who did it.
Well, they're gonna call the cops instead of the management company.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I
then
can
they
talk to
can go.
Jay. Jay, little shithead, do not put snow on.
I know.
somebody else's property.
That's essentially what I told him.
Use those
I
words.
thought you had to talk to him in hockey.
But he had a rebuttal of all the things that those
Oh, I forgot
people
what
that
he
live there
did.
have put on our land. So snow was the least of
Now
it.
she's gonna take that back and show Jay.
Yeah. No, I'll tell him. No, he understands that. He just pushes.
So I didn't know if I should reach out to the management company and start a conversation, or if I should leave it go until they approach us as a
I
landlord.
would leave it alone.
I think Jerry's the only one that did anything about it. The company probably don't even know nothing about it.
Well, and it's
So then-
already fixed. What his
That's
problem
already
was already
fixed.
fixed.
Until it
Really?
snows
that-
Well, then
again.
just Jay won't pile it up there and then they'll
Yeah.
have the same question and you'll say.
Get
"Yeah,
Scott down there to
call
clean it before Jay decides to help.
It's one of those things where it's hard because it's,
Yeah, you're stuck in the. middle.
oh yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, that's such a narrow alley to begin with. That,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they're not gonna get a fire truck back in there anyway, I don't think, you know,
I don't-
or an ambulance as far as that.
Well, is there fire hydrants back there?
There's no fire hydrants.
I can't remember.
I will
That seems
say,
like
if the
there was
ambulance
one
goes
back
there too
On
often.
the corner.
Yeah.
Too often.
Oh,
Do they use the alley, the driveway access, or do they come in from the
Normally,
actual driveway?
normally coming from the west
Yeah.
and. So
Yeah.
they need to get through that. then.
Well,
Not,
I'm not gonna say it's a need, but.
Yeah.
See, that-
Is everything
that
gonna go
little
to
parking
6th
lot back there, it's probably room for like 4 or 5 cars.
Okay,
It all depends how many cars are parked. If there's cars parked there, and they have no street,
Well, generally somebody parks right at the south end of that building, it kind of locks things up,
you know.
the B building,
well,
which they're not supposed to.
there's one other thing I want to talk about at some point, there's a shed got moved into town, and I was wondering if it had a building permit.
Okay, bring it up.
That Birch House was sold to some Groton from Devil's Lake. And he moved a shed in back
And
there.
he got a
Is there a building permit to move that in there? It's a pretty big one.
So I did visit with him about that.
And is it on top of the sewer line?
I don't know that. What I had heard was that he had a shed and he was interested in a fence. So I called him. I said, here's the deal. You gotta have a building permit. And so he did issue me a building permit for the shed. But then in talking to him, we decided to wait because he's gonna submit one for a fence too.
Well, that's fine. as
So
long as
he's going
doing
to
that.
submit one that has both of those things on it. But I do have the permit from the shed and I said that I would hold it.
The other thing about the shed permit is, I wouldn't recommend putting it on top of the sewer line because you know, if they gotta
Not good.
fix that stupid sewer line, it should be off it one way or the other.
What I
Just need to
don't,
be told that there's an easement here that we can
Yeah.
come in and if we have to dig, we gotta dig.
Yeah,
Shed's gonna get thrown away with the track holes. It's in the way.
but I mean, you might as well put it not on the
Well,
sewer. line.
exactly.
Exactly.
It's kind of lined up that other building back there, though, isn't it?
Hmm.
There's another building back there already, right?
I think there's a small one and he put this bigger one on.
No, I think it's right in line with that one, though, if you look at it.
Yeah,
That
it
doesn't
might be.
mean that one's not on the sewer line either, though, so.
to answer your question, I haven't submitted it to Derek to look at yet. I could, but I told him if you're gonna do a fence, I'll just, so that he
Or
could
just
just
tell
pay
him
the
the
one.
snow's not deep enough yet for him to wade back there. It'll be deeper by next week, it sounds like.
Okay, anyway, let's move on to the financial.
Before we do that, Troy Reamsma texted me and he said, meeting next Wednesday at the Legion at 6:30 PM to talk about the Corday event.
Who wants to show up?
6:30.
6:30.
You wanna go? Doesn't matter. Rudy, you wanna go or?
Where's this at?
At the Legion for that, about that dance thing and
No,
all
I
that.
don't want to
Okay.
get involved.
Very comfortable.
I just say whoever wants to come, just show up. If you
Okay.
got time.
I might go to.
Huh?
I might go to.
Oh, okay.
It's not-
Chantel, if you if you
I can't
can.
remember from working, but.
Yeah, if you can. Amanda, you wanna come?
I could maybe come for part of it. I have a
Oh,
children's church.
You heard it. Andy, okay. So, anyway, we'll move on to the financial report. This is what, for November, yet, so. Anybody see any big surprises there? I think it's all right.
Campground does have $22,000 in it, huh? So,
Maybe we can talk once about if we should add a couple more, or
yeah,
didn't know if there was a need, you know.
Especially if we're having a big event, gonna be held out there next year, would be looking nice if
If we could you ever get it done in time? You know,
Oh, yeah, that van deal. Make that
Oh,
sense.
so, yeah.
not, oh, the sign, but I mean, if you wanted some more spots, camping spots.
Like if there's people camping there when they have this big deal out there, well, that's gonna be a problem.
That'll be fun.
Wondering.
But I mean, if the party's done at 10, the
but if it's
party's.
ending at 10 o'clock, I didn't,
Yeah, I guess.
I really like that part when it said that.
Yeah,
Not going all night long, you know, for it. Like you said, you didn't want you going into the next day, you know.
yeah,
I really glad about that deal.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Well, they could head right back up to Main Street where they're having the.
Well, some of the.
Most people will go home, yeah, and some will
Some of them will have.
funnel on to Mid.
Yeah.
Main Street.
I,
I'll have an extra nurse on that night.
Mhm.
Okay.
There'll be.
Maybe somebody ended up in there.
I'll work. I like the drunks. Those are fun. They're my favorite.
Oh.
Yours too, Zach.
As long as you're not one of them.
That sounds like you're gonna, that's gonna be.
Any questions on the financial? Looking okay. Not, we'll pay some bills.
Looks a little hefty. Part of it is because we had a missed meeting, so these are checks from 2 meetings. So it's 2 pay periods, it's 2 of a few things, and then there's some disbursements there. I have the documentation to back all this up if anybody wants to look at it, but there's quarter taxes on there, and our quarter allotment to the park board is on there. Towner County Auditor for police contract for December and January.
Is this Midland bill here for 2,637, the other water breakdown by?
Yes.
Chester's?
Yes.
We got like cheap at mine.
They were dog deep and it was nasty.
Mhm.
Did they fill the basement up with water? Does
I
that-
don't know, I just went by there and he was right down the bucket.
It kept caving in.
Pretty deep. They had the
Mhm.
box
For a
down.
long time. It's all I
We've been
know.
running a while, I think, before
Yeah.
it finally cut to the top.
Yeah, it out.
Did you see anything in the water? Well, no, that would have been on. You wouldn't have seen the new report yet.
No,
That would have been the one that would have been on this one.
I'm sure it'll be quite large
Yeah.
numbers.
we are just working on the water usage spreadsheet now because we just ran the bills yesterday.
Mhm.
And we're still trying to calculate how much water loss we have last month.
That one's gonna be big.
Mhm.
Anybody got anything else? Oh, I guess first we gotta pay. the bills, so.
Make a motion, to pay the bill.
All right.
Yeah, again,
Motion made, second to pay the bills, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Same sign. Anybody have anything else?
I wanted to bring up one more thing, and I know that we're gonna talk about it next time. Just something to think about. The fire department has brought up some concerns, and one of their things is what we do with the overage, the end of the year. So we have our budgeted money that we get and money that we get from taxes and whatever. And so there's usually a small overage at the end of every year. Hopefully by the next meeting, I have all the overages and all of the shortages for all the funds, so you can see them as a whole. But that was something that the fire department brought up, was if there's money that was levied from taxpayers, why should that go back into the general fund, and why can't,
it should
fire
go
dep-
into some equipment replacement fund for that.
right?
You know,
And
then there'd be some money there.
Absolutely. That was his
But
concern.
you shouldn't tell them they have to spend it, because they'll just have, they'll just indiscriminately buy something they maybe don't even need. But if they
More
want-
beer
What ends up happening now is anything that goes in these funds, we can't keep it in there. So then it goes back into the general fund. And there will be some from the fire department. And that will be, like I said, detailed out at the next meeting. It's just something to think about. It's something that I thought of too, Jimmy.
I wouldn't think there'd be anything left this year. We give them all the money for the heating systems and everything.
Well, this would be money levied from the taxpayers that would have been like for electricity and things like that. And so I think that's what's been done in the past, is there's an overage of, I'm making up this number, let's say it's $1,000 a year. That was their concern, was over 15, 20 years, that really adds up, and that could be a chunk towards something. But by law, I can't
But
carry it.
just in the budget, maybe we should budget something for an equipment replacement fund for
Right,
that.
that's where that should go.
Yeah, I don't think if the money didn't get spent, I don't think it can go, you can't just write them a check. for
You
nothing.
can't just write them a check.
No.
And there's rules that, just for the sake of conversation though, like I said, it's been money levied for them.
That should go in for like a new fire truck. I mean, where it can build, you know.
Specific, it'd have to be something specific.
Right.
Just kind of,
But I don't know if we can set that up for this extra, but we should budget so much for
Moving forward.
equipment replacement stuff. And what's the deal with the rural fire department? They used to buy one truck and the city had one.
Right.
and I don't know. What they're-
they have
No,
a,
that's done.
they have a pot of money that they've reserved to go towards this as well. And they'll talk about it at the next meeting. They're gonna be here.
Mhm.
Just more in detail about how that is. But as I'm doing the financials, the next meeting is when we start transferring and when we solidify 2021's money. So just kind of something to think about. Maybe we can't even do it for this year, 2021, but I'm thinking moving into 2022, if there's something that we want to set up a different fund or a different way to divvy up that money. Just an observation and mimicking what Aaron had expressed to me.
Okay. I'll make a motion. to adjourn.
Meeting.